Go live. Going live. Hello guys and non-existent girls. I just got a warning message from YouTube telling me that I have way too low a bitrate on my stream, like 1/3 of what I should have. Never seen that message before, so I had to quickly up it top up the bitrate. So hopefully that does something to the quality. Anyway, beer. So I'm going to the Czech Republic, Bernard. It's the regular lager, 4.6% alcohol content. This should be fine. Tactical spork this week. Alrighty. Yes, looking good, smelling good. Bernard, this is the stuff. They know how to make beer in the Czech Republic. Well, Germans obviously do as well, but yeah, whatever. Skål, it's Friday. Yeah, that hits the spot. That's good. Good shit. Good Swedish. Greg says hello. The Noble Carl, Blood Eagle, follow with a friend, David, Daisy Cutter, Conrad, Sick, Robert and Lars, Orfar, Kalle, Nitro, Smokeless, Normal Citizen, Birre och Kalle. Yeah, did I say Kalle already? Whatever. So I started making plans for reloading for the Ruger SFAR. So I thought that I didn't see any interesting news regarding guns and whatnot in Sweden this week. Just the regular shit like a 16-year-old boy getting a light sentence, then getting deported after murdering people. Shit like that is commonplace in Sweden nowadays. So I found the bullet I will be using. It is the Hornady ELD-X, vertical, 178 grains. The Ruger SFAR is actually one of the few AR-10s that has a 1 in 10 twist on the barrel, which means it can stabilize a little bit heavier bullets than this. If I went with the AMAX 167 grains or whatever it is, then I could use like a 1 in 12 or something as well. I would get away with it. Usually they have a little bit slower twist rate, so they can stabilize the like 147 grainers, the military surplus 762x51s. That would be stabilized better in that twist rate, but a 1 in 10 can use match bullets, which this is. So let's have a look at the bullets so you guys can see what it is. Okay. So that's how they look. They have a ballistic tip that will push up the bullet. You can see it on the lid, how it looks like in a cutaway. So that bullet will push, the plastic tip will push down and it will mushroom out basically. So this is a match hunting bullet. You can shoot long range with this bullet. It has a really good ballistic coefficient. I think it's 5 something. Doesn't it say? Yeah. So you get a G1 and a G7 ballistic coefficient. So the G1 is 0.552, which is really good for a hunting bullet, and the G7 is 0.278. I don't really trust the G7 ballistic coefficients because that is mainly for like specific scenarios, as far as I know. I always had better luck with the G1 BCs on long range shooting. I don't know why that is, but that's the way it is for me. And I've shot a lot of long range. Supposedly the G7 is supposed to be better. I had some shitty luck. I had 308 reloading tools forever. I think I got some with my reloading tools. There's some old guy that I bought like 20 years ago, and he's owned them for 20 years. So I had a really old version of this, the Hornady reloading tools, and it was worn down. And I'll open this package and maybe I can show you what I'm talking about. I have my reloading set up in the attic, so put that over there. Oh, it's taped together as well. Oh. Open sesame. There we go. So this is the way it looks like inside. I have some foam and a little manual on how to use that shit, some spare parts and Allen keys to set it. So this is the part I was talking about. The inside of this broke for me on my old tools. Let's see here. I'll just unthread this and I'll show you what happened. So as you can see, this is the reforming tool, and this part got bent. So first of all, this little piece that ejects the primer, that got destroyed, and I didn't have any spares. And this part that's shaped kind of like a bullet, which makes the throat uniform and all that, this part got slightly bent. And I think this has happened many times before. Not for me. I tried to slowly bend it backwards, and of course I just broke it off. It's hardened steel, so it's not that malleable. It's like it's just gonna break. So you can buy this separately, but I thought, fuck it, these are really old tools, and if I buy it, I broke it today, so if I buy today, I can reload something for this weekend. So what you usually do is you thread this down, and then you thread this so the pin sticks out just about this much. Then it will tighten when you screw this in all the way, and then you push up the press up so it indexes here, and then you tighten this lug, and then you tighten the little locking piece, and then it's set for reloading. So I'll just do that later. It takes not that long to set that up. What I need to do is I have a shitload of 308 casing, so I need to resize them, and then once fired, so I need to resize them and then clean them up, and then load some ammo. I'm just gonna load like 10 rounds because I still have the muzzle brake on the Ruger. So I'm not even gonna make a load ladder. Yeah, so let's show you guys what I've been doing since I'm talking about reloading. And I put up quick load here. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So I have the 178 grain Hornet, the ELDX 3074 with the G1 BC instead of the G7 because I'm going to use the G1. I put in the 20-inch barrel, and here you have the standard for the SAMI spec. I figured I use SAMI instead of SIP because 308 is an American cartridge. And I'm going to use the Czech brand Lovex D073.5. And I checked the reloading manual here. So for the A, they don't have this specific bullet. For the AMAX at 168 grains, the optimal load is 38.6. And for the SST 180 grains, it's like 38.6 as well for this powder, the recommended load. And it says I'm going to get like 740 meters per second. I don't know if I'm going to get that. What I did was I put in 38.9 grains. That gives me a barrel time of 1.192 meters per second. So the bullet will stay in the barrel for 1.192 milliseconds. And what I like to do is I calculate the optimal node. I use the optimal barrel tool for this. So I'm going for node 7, 1.196 meters per second. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm calculating how the metal will bend, and I want to have the optimal barrel time, so the bullet exits the bullet exits the barrel when it's straight. So that's what I'm calculating here using this fancy Excel sheet. Obviously it's not going to be perfect with reality, so you still need to do a little bit of a load ladder when your gun is set up correctly. But I'm very close with this load. It's basically impossible to get it perfect because barrel harmonics are affected by stuff like suppressors and muzzle brakes, right? So this is probably going to be an okay load, but it's not going to be the perfect load. For that, I need to put on the suppressor and do a little bit of a load ladder. But it's good enough to shoot a few shots. This one says I'm going to have a muzzle velocity of 717 meters per second or 2,352 feet per second. So yeah, and it's a safe load. You can see here in the pressure curve, it's not in the red. This is you're gonna have an accident area, the dark red one. This is you better check for pressure signs area, and this is in a very safe neighborhood. So it's going to be a safe load, it's going to be an accurate load. It's not going to be super fast, but I'm not going to do some really long range shooting with it. With my really long range shooting 6.5 by 55 loads, I'm up at like 900 meters per second. Compare that to 717 meters per second for this load. It's a big difference. So yeah. Any questions on reloading? Put them in chat. I can show you my app. So Strelok Pro is not available anymore because that's a Russian app. It's sanctioned. What I'm using now is Applied Ballistics. So I just bought it. It's 300 Swedish approximately. So Applied Ballistics is really good because you can get custom drag curves for your bullet if you're doing long range shooting. So that's what I'm going to use, Applied Ballistics. So I just bought it, so I haven't put in any data or anything. I need to go and use my lab radar to chrono my loads and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's Applied Ballistics is what I'm doing. So what I'm first going to do with Applied Ballistics is going to put in this data. So I have the exit velocity and shit. Then I'm just going to zero it while I'm chronographing the loads and see if this is correct. It's going to be close. Usually it's like 1, 2, 3 meters per second off, but that's dependent on weather, temperature, burning, how fast powder burns compared to the calculations in quick load, stuff like that. So it's never, quick load is never going to be good enough, but if you have a good safety margin as I have here, then you're fine. And if you're closing in on the top max load, then you're going to have to watch for pressure signs. So Palidum says Hornady or Applied Ballistics. Yeah, Hornady has, I think that their app is free, so that's going to be a good app. I have tried the Hornady app back when it just came, and it couldn't do what I wanted it to do when it came. But it's probably good enough now. So you can try the Hornady app. The reason I went with Applied Ballistics is because of the custom drag curves you can get in that app. So they have advanced radars that follow the bullets all the way. So the reason I got hits on target at the extreme long range shot was because I used Hornady or Applied Ballistics custom drag curves. So I got G1 measurements for different distances. It's because the ballistic coefficient will shift during the parabolic curve of the bullet, because the speed is shifting, which impacts how stable the bullet flies through the air will be impacted as well. So the calculations must vary. You can't use one number. That's why I don't really trust the G7, because that's always just one number. The G1, you can have several different ones. For example, the Sierra Match Kings always comes with like 3 different G1 BCs, and those have been correct for me so far. So that's why I use Match Kings for my 6.5 by 55, 142 grain Match Kings with the 3 different G1s. Those have always worked. I only have to care about wind, Coriolis effect perhaps, and spin drift. But that's automatic anyway in the app. So, did you see the new Beretta AR-15? Yeah. Rockman, hey Henke, how much protein do I need to build muscles? So protein powder, yeah, your body weight times 2 in grams per day. But you still need to go to the gym and train and try to have the protein just after you went to the gym as well, as much of it as possible. Just have the protein powder done, calculate about how much you get from your regular meals. But the goal is 2 times your body weight in grams of protein per day. That's what you need. Palladium Treponera says custom drag curves for 6.5 by 55 sent me totally wrong on T-Force Extreme Long Range. It did, because they sent me correct, but it wasn't 6.5 by 55 I used. But I do know that friends of mine used them at T-Force last time I went. It wasn't last year, the year before, or was it the year before that? I don't remember. And they got hits out to 1,800 meters with just the regular ass diamond line 130 grainers, factory ammo, factory barrels in a Tikka and in a 200 STR, and he got hits out to 1,800 meters with those. So I don't know what happened with your calculations, but I do know for a fact that 2 of my friends with factory ammo, factory barrels got hits on target with those numbers. And it also helped me. I had issues with just using my original BC, and then I swapped to that, and then I got hits on target immediately with my 338 Lapua Magnum. Fall Weather Friend says, I think the body can't really absorb more than 50 grams of protein at a time, gotta space it out. That is correct. Obviously you have to space it out. You can't just have it all in one sitting, you're gonna throw up. That's not... Greg says 2.5 times your body weight and TRT. Yeah, well, that might work, but if you skip the TRT part and keep to the law, that's basically impossible to get in Sweden. Then you're going to be fine with just 2 times. It might be too much. Start slowly and just ramp up, depending on your level of training. I haven't gone to the gym in a while now. I've been sick and on vacation, so I'm starting to get fat. And you need a lot of water to process the protein. Yeah, at least 3 liters per day. That's true. Yeah, it's a lot. So it's to get big, you need to do 3 things. Go to the gym, obviously, and do the exercises correctly. Get your form correct before you try to put on heavy weights. Just do that. I'm tired of watching young people and old people at the gym just doing biceps curls like this, shit like that, in the squat rack, and just don't. Get a personal trainer helping you. And second, you're gonna put food down your throat. Just eat big to get big. And don't do dirty bulks. That never works. You're just gonna get fat. That's my experience. Your body might differ. 3, get a lot of sleep, at least 8 hours per day. And then you're gonna get buff. Just take a picture in your bathroom window, same time of day, just like once a week or something in the morning, and over 6 months, 1 year, you're gonna see a lot of difference. Just keep it up. Being consistent in doing this, that's what's gonna give you results. Just being a good boy and going down to the gym once a week or once every other week or something, that's not gonna give you the results. You have to have a plan, getting all the muscle groups. Don't be one of those assholes neglecting legs. Just do all the core exercises, squats, deadlifts, bench press, and then pour some other exercises on top of that, and you're probably going to be fine. And make sure you don't train the same muscle group the same week, or just have a rolling schedule, and then you're going to be fine. Just make a plan. Get educated first, then make a plan, or get help from someone who knows what they're talking about. Palidium says, I was the one who shot 1850 with a Tikka diamond line field, but that was with Strelok. Yeah. I'm not sure if applied ballistics works differently than Strelok did. I really loved Strelok, so I'm a little bit sad that it's not available now. I really recommend adult males to check their testosterone levels once in a while. Yeah, you should do that, because if they're low, you're going to get moody and depressed. And I probably have low test levels because I've lost a lot of energy. I used to be able to do a lot more shit and get more shit done, but now I'm just not in the mood. So I'm guessing it's going to be low test levels. And the sad part about that is, in Sweden they set the bar for what's normal so low that it will be considered a disease in any other country. And that's just because they don't want to give tests to people. So it's basically impossible to get TRT, testosterone reduction treatment in Sweden. You're never going to get it. You basically have to be a cancer patient to get the fun stuff. So Niklas Persson says, I'm running Barnes TTSX 168 grain in my SFAR. I'm shooting basically in one hole. Very satisfied with my load. Yeah, we'll see what the Hornady ELD X's will do. So it's not that different weight-wise. The one in 10 twist should stabilize these fine. So we'll see. I have the AMAX as well, but the ELDX is probably better for hunting than the AMAX. The AMAX is little well, perhaps a deer or something would be fine with an AMAX, but I'm a little bit. I don't want to shoot a moose with an AMAX. The ELDX is probably good enough. What does it even say about the ELDX and wildlife? Controlled expansion and optimal weight retention delivers highly effective terminal performance at all practical ranges. Match accurate all range hunting bullet with the highest class Doppler radar verified ballistic coefficients. Oh, and they're doing a little commercial for their app, the Fordov app inside of the lid. So that's the name of the Hornady app, by the way. Yeah, the ELDX is probably going to be better than the AMAX. The ELDX is a newer design of a bullet, so it's probably going to be fine. Fall Weather Friend says, I love leg day because the weights are heavy with high numbers on them, and I hate arm day because the weights are heavy with low numbers. So I fucked up where the muscles goes with to the skeleton here. So I have to, when I do curls, I do preacher curls. So I have a support here basically, and I have this angle, and then I have to basically hold my hand here and do curls just to remove the impact of doing the curl. Otherwise I can basically do one curl, then my arm is fucked. And I also have problems with my shoulders, my rotator cuffs. Basically when I get a pump in them, they just hurt. So I have to be very careful with the weights. I can't go too heavy, I can't go too fast. I have to do a lot of warm-up to be able to do certain things. Legs are fine. I can go super heavy on legs compared to all the other exercises. At least I'm not going heavy at all numbers wise nowadays. Was it last year? Yeah, like 1 year ago I managed to do a deadlift at 220 kilos. That's like a record for me. But I don't want to do like one reppers for a max lift because my body just can't handle it. I'm turning 46 this year. I'm just gonna go high rep count and be happy with that just to keep myself alive. But I can't do heavy 1 rep maxes anymore because that's gonna fuck up my body. It's not worth it. Kalle wants to know what every male's goal should be. Oh, fuck a supermodel, I guess. Rock wants to know if Eric 14th was lean or roided. I don't know who that is. Kalle says, 1. Being able to bench your body weight. Well, I can do more than my body weight. Deadlift your body weight times 2. Well, I can do that. And squat at least 1.5 times my body weight. Well, I can do that as well. But that's what you're supposed to be able to do. That's true. Isn't AMAX more dirty like meat damage? I don't know. I haven't shot a moose with an AMAX. So I don't know. I haven't shot anything with an AMAX. But usually the way you destroy meat is a very high speed bullet. So if you have like a 300 Win Mag or something and you shoot a really fast load, then yeah, you're gonna destroy meat. So so the entrance hole here, I have to cut off an area like this around the entrance wound in the ribs of a moose. It's just poop. The meat is just shit. There's nothing left of it. The hydrostatic shock in the muscles just destroys the meat. It basically explodes. Path Trampled by Deer says, easy to mess up your back too if you're not careful. Yeah, I'm super careful with my back. So if I don't go to the gym for a while, my lower back starts hurting. So I have to train my back the rest of my life, basically. If I do that, it's fine. I don't have any issues. Also, doing like squats and stuff like that is really good for flexibility. So I can just sit down and do a squat wherever, which was fun when I visited Russia. I can just squat next to them. So yeah, I can squat and be comfortable for a long time. And it's good to have a little bit of flexibility. Get a job at UPS and you'll get fit, says Botti, loading boxes. I've had that back when I was, not UPS, but I was responsible for the inventory for a really big warehouse. We had like 40,000 products, just trucks, unloading trucks, put it in, sorting all the boxes, put them on the shelves, shit like that. Yeah, and it was an electronic company, so they had like little piece of metal, but like 50,000 in a box. So every box weighed like 50 kilograms. And the box was like this size, so just pure metal, like, and it wasn't like lifting a kettlebell. It didn't have handles. Well, if you counted the straps holding it together, but those assholes cut into your hands. You couldn't really use them. So it's just lifting it and trying to use your legs instead of your back. And yeah, I got so much problems for that because I had to do so much overtime, like lifting heavy shit until 1 in the night, like 1 p.m. or 1 in the morning, and then start working again at 7. Like, I was so young, so I didn't know that shit was legal in Sweden. But yeah, I fucked up my body. I had to eat pills, and then I had to eat pills for the pills. And then my doctor said, you should probably just resign, which I did. And I'm very happy I didn't fuck myself up permanently. I was okay after like half a year after I quit that job. So yeah, you'll get fit. I've never been more fit than that. It looked like a bodybuilder or something because I went to the gym at the same time. But I don't, how old was I? Like 20 years old? So what was that? 26 years ago? Shit, time flies. Have you considered Paul and Wade's calisthenics book, Convict Conditioning? No. I'm not the guy who does bodyweight training at all. I'm not sure why, and that never was a thing for me. Fall Weather Friend says, I'm terrified of anything involving a bar, bench, squats, deadlifts, because I messed up my back several times deadlifting. Don't want to do any obvious mistakes or misalignments. Yeah, so that's always going to be an issue. It's like an art form doing like a squat. Okay, so what you can do is learn how to do a squat in a Smith machine or something. So the way you do it, you need to have your feet way in front of you if you're going to do a squat in a Smith machine. So you can, when you go squatting, your legs should basically be a 90-degree angle. And then when you're squatting down, and then go as low as you can. You can go super low, and when you go up again, it's going to really punish your hamstrings. It's a good exercise to do once in a while for me, but if you have an issue with doing something correct, then you can try that because it's easier to get it correct in a machine. Or if you have some kind of machine that does the same thing. Same with all the other exercises. There's always something that controls your movement, which makes it perfect. The bad thing about that is you're going to lose out on exercising your core muscles, because if you do it just with a bar on your back, then you're going to have to stabilize your core to get down and up again, and that is a really good thing because you want to have a really strong core. So you will miss out on that. So just do it. Have someone who knows what you're doing looking at you, or film yourself from the side if you're doing squats, for example. And then just do it with the bar, only the bar, or just a wooden pole or something super easy, and just use your body weight to go up and down, and just make sure you can do the exercise correctly. Same with bench and deadlifts and all of that. It's very important to do it correctly. Watch videos on YouTube on how to do that. Yeah, because you can easily hurt yourself if you're doing that shit wrong. And like bench press, just if you hold the bar close together, that's just an exercise for your triceps. That's not what you want to do. Hold it like 90 degrees, something like this, and then aim for your nipples and push it up there. Just arc your back a little bit. Make sure your ass is on the bench. feet wide, stabilize that, and feel the power from your feet going through your back while you're pushing it up. And yeah, it's, you have to basically know what you're doing, but just get the movements correctly and you'll be fine. Kalle was an armored truck driver for 6 years. Heavy job. Yeah, I can imagine that. Working at an office since forever. Yeah, I'm one of the few people that's fit. There's one guy at my office. He's quite fit, but he's like 25 or something. So I guess, I don't know if he goes to the gym or just has a good constitution. Kalle didn't drive the truck, he carried it, yeah. Smith machine, be right back, just gonna get your panties. The one thing I do use the Smith machine for regularly nowadays is for shrugs. The Smith machine is really good for shrugs because you can get the bar at the perfect angle. Then you just have to basically get your back backwards, and then you can do the shrugs. And it's really good for the what's it called? The traps. You get a little bit bigger traps. And if you're worried about bench press, Hjalmar or whatever, whoever, just get a spotter for you. Go to the gym with a friend, preferably someone who knows what they're doing. So anyway, gonna do some reloading. It's gonna be yeah, this is probably gonna be fine. So get in there. There we go. So I want it. Did I put it in the wrong end? No. Yes, I did. It's gonna go this way. It needs to be. It needs to poke out a little bit more. That's probably good. And then I'm gonna take 2 wrenches and just tighten it. And then it's gonna be there tightly. If you don't tighten this up correctly, then this is gonna get stuck in the casing, and this one is just gonna get pulled out. And it's not gonna get pulled out all the way. It's gonna be a hassle to deal with it. Then just screw this up, index it, screw it down again, lock it tight with an Allen key, then you're done. This takes like 5 seconds to get right. This can be a little bit more awkward. This is the bullet seater. So usually I have it quite high, and then I try to push the bullet. If nothing happens, I lower it a little bit, pull it again, and I need to have the seating depth correct. So that's another good thing about quick load. You can see here, I have the seating depth in millimeters. I have the cartridge length 71.12. So then I can get one of these and get it correctly. So the overall length should be something like this, I guess. So it's easy to get it correct. And then I have like a fake chamber, a case gauge. So I just put it in there and make sure it's perfect. So it doesn't protrude out of the case gauge. If it does, it will not work in a semi-auto, because the bolt closes with just spring pressure, and it can be a little tiny bit out of battery, and it won't go boom. With a bolt action, you can force down that bolt handle, right? You can use a lot of forcing it down, and some reloaders will notice that it's hard to close the bolt handle when you're reloading. That means your load is out of spec. And if you have a case gauge, you can make it perfect. And you have to have a case gauge if you're reloading semi-autos, because you can't really have a casing that's a tiny bit out of spec. So that's a tip. If you're reloading for a Ruger SFAR, get a case gauge for 308. Hjalmar wants to know if you should train to failure. Yes, of course you should. But you can do it several different ways. If you have a heavy weight on, then if you have a spotter, the spotter can put some fingers on the bar and just help you the last 1 or 2 reps, and he can yell at you, telling you you're a sissy who can't lift the weights, and then you get mad and lift the weights. That's the best way to do it. The way I do it when I train for myself, because I don't really have a spotter usually, is I do it to almost failure, then I jump up, remove a little bit of weight, and then I jump back down and I superset it, and then with a lighter weight I do several more reps. That's the way I do it to failure, because you can't really do a heavy weight to failure. Your last set, I usually start low and go higher, and the last set you have to do to failure. You have to basically destroy your muscles, otherwise they won't grow. So if you don't do to failure, then you're really not doing it right. Yeah, and also you have to consider the intensity of your workout. I really don't rest between sets. I usually just go put up more weights, and then I immediately go and continue. I try to wait as little as possible between sets, because that is a way to stress your muscles as well. Don't give them rest, just punish them immediately. So many people probably consider most of my training to be just one long superset. So I'm done after 40 minutes. I've gone through my program in 40 minutes. Usually like 5 exercises and 3 to 4 sets. And nowadays I do high reps. High reps for me is between 10 and 15 repetitions. If I go for just strength, I go max 8 reps. But that's really hard. You have to go so heavy. So I do much lighter weights now when I go 10 to 15. But it's very important to go to failure. Kalle says the spotter shouldn't finger you. And it depends on the spotter, doesn't it? What if the spotter is a really good looking guy? Then Kalle would want to be fingered, right? Okay, almost out of beer and reloading our training questions. Is my channel turning into a training channel now? Should I put up training videos? Oh dear. I can imagine all the assholes at the gym. There's some really funny dudes. My favorite idiot at the gym I'm going to, he takes toilet paper and he wraps the heaviest dumbbell in toilet paper, and he holds it like that, filled with toilet paper, and he does preacher curls like this range of motion, like 1 centimeter range of motion with the heaviest dumbbell wrapped in toilet paper. And he's a fairly young guy. What can he be, like between 20 and 25 years old? He looks that young, and from some non-ski faring country. And he just this range of motion, like 1 centimeter. I never figure out what the fuck he's trying to train. And yeah, there's a lot of people who do not know how to actually perform the exercises at my gym, and I never ever comment on them. I'm not the guy who goes to someone and gives them pointers. There's also this Swedish dude. He looks like this upper class brat, and he just goes there with these Thai boxing shorts, and the only thing I've seen him do is stand in front of the window next to the dumbbells and just start shadow boxing and kicking in the air, pretending he's like a Muay Thai fighter. And he looks like he just lives in the posh Östermalm area with his haircut and all that. I don't know why. Yeah. And at the same time, usually I can see a real Muay Thai guy who actually knows how to train, really muscular guy with a bunch of like Buddhist tattoos and shit, or I don't know, looks like from the area anyway. And he does exercises for flexibility and strength, and I see exactly what he does. And he just looks at that guy like, oh, whatever. I could make so many YouTube shorts out of my gym, but I'm there for training, not making YouTube videos, and I'm not sure if it's even legal. Radil says, I will reload 223 from a Schmeisser SP15 that became an AR-15 after a visit to the gunsmith, testing Infotech solid bullets. Don't I have a video about the Infotech solid bullets? Yeah, but that was 6.5. Maybe I should try it. Well, I have the Infotech bullets, but those are already loaded, so I don't have just the bullets to make my own ammunition of. But I have like 100 or something of their loaded bullets, the Infotech 223. Maybe I should do a test out with those with my AR-15. Might be interesting. And compare it to some surplus ammo. Jovna says he's training for showing off his fist when he's mad. Yeah, he will be the ultimate fist shaker. That's what it is. We figured it out, chat. That's hilarious. I have to tell the missus that because she's laughing at that guy as well. You have pliers, don't you? Yes, I do. I have pliers. Well, not in front of me, but yeah. What's that about? Oh, do you mean the Infotech ammo? Yeah, but usually I have a bullet puller as well that would work with the ammo to just pull the bullet out without damaging it. That's better than pliers, but I'm not going to do that because I paid for that ammo and I can buy the bullets if I want to. Still waiting for the Infotech suppressor though. Now I'm all out of beer, so since I'm drinking beer tomorrow, I'll try to get the ammo ready. On Sunday I'm going to the shooting range. It's always nice to have new tools. I have like 15 different boxes like these I have like 2 different 223s, 2 different 6.5 by 55s. Now I have 2 308s and a bunch of fancy tools. But it's yeah, if you're a reloading nerd, that's kind of expected, right? Anyway, all out of beer. It's Friday. I'm gonna say hi to the missus, and you guys have a nice weekend. Hopefully I can post a nice reloading video with some shooting of the Ruger SFAR, and also an update on the Perun X16 300 Blackout with the gas settings correct next week or something. I'm going to try to do both, film both this weekend, so that's nice. You guys have a nice weekend, and remember to have a fun time at the shooting range. See ya.